don't want to do this for the next 40 years and then die. I want to travel the world and see stuff. If I can make it in China, I can make it fucking anywhere. So we all did that Google search, yeah? Like how to travel and make money, right? That's like a classic Google search. I've been through 90 businesses at least. It gave me that belief, even if it was false, but it gave me a belief that I can make millions of dollars. You're basically changing your identity. As well, you're becoming a business owner, you're building all these things, you don't know what you're doing, you're just cracking through and trying to make it work. There's no Netflix time, there's no gaming time. If you want to make it work, you have to do those 16, 18 hours a day. What's the one thing you can do today that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? Sell first, build after. Because I have wasted so much time and energy building a cool thing, which when it then came to selling it, I found out, oh, people don't want it. If you cannot sell it for money, then sell it for free. And get the case studies inside the door. Deliver your absolute best. Then you can start selling it for more and more money. That's the biggest trap we often fall into, is to think that we are the best at what we do. We usually never are. Never.
Right, welcome to another show, another episode of Creating Freedom. And today we've got a special guest. So that we always like to start with a good question of what our show is about, really. So when you hear the word Creating Freedom, what does that mean to you? Tell us.
Creating freedom is something that I've been doing for a while. It's always been top of mind. It's like one of my number one values. For the past 8 or 10 years. But creating freedom is to be able to do whatever you want, whenever you want it, wherever you want, with whoever you want. So that's the sort of the grand overview of freedom to me, to be able to just do what you want whenever you want. And there's a lot of sub sort of groups to that within each, both with time, money, place, all that stuff. But if you can, so we know the crepe test, yeah, where
right.
if you just so if you just wake up one morning and you're just craving crepes, you don't have to ask permission to anyone. You have enough money to do it, but you can just go to France, for example, and get the best crepes for breakfast, and then fly back home again. That's freedom, right? So that's sort of the indicator that you have freedom when you can just take a trip like that just for breakfast. Because that means you have enough money, you have the time to do it. You don't have to clock in somewhere. You don't have to be a certain place any given day. Just any given Tuesday, you just go out, get the crepes, fly back again. And that is what I'm always sort of striving towards.
So you've been on that journey for a while now, it seems like.
Yeah, since I think it was 2015, 2016. When I first realized that, oh shit, there's actually a different path than just clocking into a job and going 9 to 5, go through the bullet list of doom. You know, if you wake up, you go to work, then you clock out work, do the grocery shopping, you watch Netflix, wake up the next morning, repeat it all over again. And I just, I realized that when I was around 24, 25 years old. So probably around 8, 9 years ago, when I was still in my job.
So, for anybody who doesn't know, like, introduce yourself, man. Like, you know, what's your name, where you're from?
Where I'm from? I'm. My name is Laurits. I go by Lau because most people choke on that ugly Danish R in Rits. And I'm from Denmark.
So sad little place. Huh?
Very sad little place. Always grey, always raining. 40% tax. Can do it.
40%?
40%, that's the starting for teachers and stuff like that, yeah. Wow. And then once you become doctor, lawyer, then it's up to 60-70%.
What?
Yeah, so more than half your income. So it's a great place to lose a lot of money.
If you want to lose some money, guys, go
to Denmark.
Yeah.
We got you.
So where did it all start from you? Where did it all start?
Take us back, way back.
Way back.
What was your last time? Like, what was your first job?
Way back when. So it's actually, it was my dream job. I'm from a small town, about 40,000 people in there. And there was one music store in the whole city. So selling instruments, guitar and stuff. And I'm from a musical family, playing drums, guitar, piano, everything. My dad was an old rock star back in the 80s. My mom's a great piano player, and then I went to when I was 14, 15. I went to the music store to the boss. I was like, I want to work here, and I had long hair. I was not looking professional, holes in my clothes, kind of like I look now.
I was thinking
But just imagine 20 years younger. 20 years younger. So I went to the store. I was like, I want to work here, and he's like, nah, we don't need anyone, because I probably didn't look the part. But then I said, I want to work for you for free then. And then I got inside the door, just scrubbing toilets and stuff like that. And I stayed with that job for almost 9 years. It was like a dream job, instead of standing at fucking McDonald's or the other shit jobs in town. Yeah.
But you always wanted to be in
So I
music.
wanted to be there. It was a dream job for me. It was the best job I could possibly get in Denmark, because I'm from the music background. Yeah. So just selling instruments every day, and if there wasn't a customer, I would just be playing and having fun. So it was a lovely, lovely job. And my boss was great. He taught me a lot, also that I'm using today in sales and marketing. So I had a great time there. But I was just, it was just one day. I was just thinking about it, like, what do I actually do every day? Like from Monday to Friday, as I said, the bullet list of doom. You wake up, you go to work, come home, go grocery shopping, make dinner, watch Netflix, repeat. And I was like, I don't want to do this for the next 40 years and then die. I want to travel the world and see stuff,
But traveling the world, though, what sparked it, though?
What sparked traveling the world? If we go all the way back to, so when I was 19, after what is high school, college in Denmark, I had studied Chinese for 3 years. And then when I was 19, graduated, I was like, why did I study this for 3 years and I'm never going to use it? So I was like, all right, I'll fucking go to China for 3 months and just try and use the language, see what happens. And then I had like $500 to my name. But I still went, despite my family trying to say, no, this is not for you. Because it was the first time away from mom and dad, and I had to buy the first roll of toilet paper myself in China.
How old was you then?
Huh?
How old?
I was 19. Yeah. So then I just moved out there and crossed my fingers that everything was going to work out. So I stayed in this shitty hostel somewhere. And after a week or so, the funds were already kind of running out. We had a couple of parties. So I was like already down to like the last $50. And then luckily, there was this sweet little girl in the subway who just came up to me just because I'm white. And it was like, hey, do you teach English? And I had like a terrible, terrible Danish accent. And my English was awful. But I was like, yeah, yes, very much English. Yes, let's go. And she was like, he's white. He's probably like, American, Australian, whatever. Yeah, sure. So I got a job, got an apartment, started getting some good friends. And then fast forward a couple of years, I stayed in China for almost 2 years because everything just worked out.
So what was the first plan? How long was you looking to go to China
Like
for?
3 months.
And it turned to 2 years.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Had a great time.
Were you just partying then as well? Because
Basically, I was 19, 19, 20, 21. So it was just a lot of parties. But it was wonderful because there's this weird reverse racism going on. So they kind of put the whites on a pedestal. So it was kind of like being a chick at the bar, everyone was just buying you drinks everywhere I went and buying us our dinners, paying for our food and stuff.
That's a hard life, man.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I could imagine the long blonde hair you got.
Yeah. And I was young, they're like young and beautiful back then.
What happened?
So yeah, that was sort of what sparked it, where I was like, because I actually hated traveling before China. But I was just like, I need to get out of my comfort zone back then. Like I wanted to do something different.
That's what I was going to ask you. So then how did you change that, go to China from who you was before, and then when you went there, what was the big changes in yourself?
Absolutely. That was when I figured out, okay, I can stand on my own 2 legs. I can buy toilet paper myself, and I can figure shit out. So it was probably like a boost in the belief system, like believe in myself, that I can actually go anywhere in the world. If I can make it in China, I can make it fucking anywhere. And I think that, yeah, you're right. That probably played a big part in my journey from there.
And so the 2 years, like once those up, were you just done with like teaching, you wanted to go back, or what was that like?
Yeah, you kind of get enough of a place, especially a place like China. Like I love China, but it's usually like 50-50. Either you hate it or you love it. I loved it for those years, but then after a while I was like, okay, now it's time for a change.
Yeah, and what was that change?
So the change was going back to Denmark, back to my old job. And again, after, I think it was a couple of months, I was already like, I felt the tickle to get out again. I think everyone almost feels that when you go back home, you see the family and friends. Yeah, you see your family, friends. You have the food of your country, wherever it is. And after those 2 weeks or a month or so, then you start to feel it again. Oh, that wanderlust, like get out again and see the world. So I stayed in the job for I think a couple of years, and then I went to where did I go? Japan and Taiwan, and that was the first time I got into sort of entrepreneurship and making money online. So we all did that Google search, like how to travel and make money. Yeah, right. That's like a classic Google search, and I put that in. I remember I was in Japan, and I put that in and read all the articles and stuff and watched the YouTube videos. There wasn't a lot back then. This is back in 2015.
Yeah, but you were in Japan, so you went to Japan, and then what were you doing there? Holidays, and then you didn't like it, and then you searched it, or
no. I had a great time. I had a friend there from Canada that I was living with in China, and he was doing his studies in Japan. So he was like, "Hey, I'm in Japan. Do you want to see Japan?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." So I booked a ticket to Tokyo. Like I was figuring it was going to be a month or so. Again, it ended up being 3 months. But we had a great time traveling around, like road tripping in a shitty little Nissan, going up the mountains with the beautiful big lakes, just with a tent, going all around northern Japan mostly. It was just so beautiful, man. And that's what sparked the whole, how do I keep doing this? Because now I could see the funds running out again. Yeah. And I couldn't get a job in Japan. Like in China, there's a little bit more corruption. So, we would just send our passports down to Hong Kong and back again.
Yeah, right.
And that's how we kept working. And if the police were going to show up, the company would just call us and say, hey, stay home today. You didn't really have all that in Japan, so I couldn't get any work there.
Yeah. So you went down that Google search. What did that rabbit hole look like? Yeah.
It's a deep rabbit hole. But I mostly just read some articles, like how to get started. Forbes. I think Forbes, they have like 7 steps to make money online. And I just read that, and that kind of sparked some interests. But it wasn't full blown how to. But what I did was I was sitting in the kitchen in this beautiful architect villa in Japan, and I noticed. So I had my laptop and my iPad, and on the iPad there was one of those mirror apps before Apple integrated it into their whole system. Right? You had to download an app to mirror your computer screen.
Okay.
You know these? Yeah. And I noticed in the app that I was using that the Danish translation was terrible. It was just Google Translate, and back then Google Translate was really shit, yeah? So I reached out to the company. I just sent them an email. I was like, hey guys, absolutely love the app, been using it for a while now. I noticed a lot of flaws here, and here, for example. How about I just fix it for you? And they were like, hey, Laurits, thank you for reaching out. Yeah, sure, we would love that. How much do you charge to do that? I was like, fuck, how much do I charge? I don't know. I'm not a translator, I'm not a professional translator. So I just went in on the internet and said, how much does a translator charge? And they said, yeah, it's gotta be $200. They're like, sweet, send us your PayPal, and then we'll get the money over, and then you just put it in a Google Doc with all the corrections. And that was the first online money I made. And that was like, okay, it's real, it works. But $200 is not gonna get you far in Japan. It's basically a night in a hostel. But that's when the ball started rolling. Like, okay, so how do I make more than that? And that's when I went home and actually really got deep into it to figure out how to make money online, how to start an online business. And I was buying I was buying a lot of books. 4 Hour Work Week, classic. That was the first one. I think Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, and a couple of others. But the 4 Hour Work Week was the main book for me. It's always been. And I love going back into it, even now. Just read a couple of the stories in there because there's some really, really good stories to also enhance your belief system. There's a little bit of a how-to, but it's more about the stories that how other people have accomplished the 4 Hour Work Week. And after I bought those books, I got an ad on Facebook, I believe it was, with this free 30-day challenge from this super like it was a super cool guy from Australia. Just, hey mate, do you want to start an online business and travel the world? Freedom for our venture, mate. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want. That's exactly what I fucking want. So I clicked in, put in my email address, signed up, joined the challenge to build a business. And he had some really good content in there, like how to set up your website and how to get your first couple of customers and stuff like that. Completed the challenge, and I don't remember if I actually made a sale, but it didn't matter to me because I already knew that it was working with the cold email that I sent to that app company with the Danish translation. So I completed the steps, and then he wanted to sell something on the back end, and I completely bought into it. I remember sitting like anxiously to sign up for this whole program. Only 300 spots left. Make sure you make it. And I was like 3 hours before the card opened. I was sitting like and I was trying to figure out, again, I only had a few $100 in my account. And I was, trying to figure out, can I borrow some money from you? Sis, can I borrow some money from you? I need to do this. This is what I need to do with my life. And I got in, signed up, had absolutely $0 left. It was everything I had.
Yeah, so about that 30-day challenge, you mean, you didn't make any money, like, from there. No. Like, you already had made money, but, like, it's another step to, like, drop down some cash for...
Yeah, but I could just tell, because this is very early in the whole journey, right? So when you're used to working in a job, your entire world is designed the way it is from you're born until, for example, that first sale where you're like, fucking hell, okay, you can actually make money online. And this is before everyone else was, doing it. Actually, now we have, every third ad or ad on Instagram is about how to make money online now, isn't it? But this is like really, really early stage. But what I really liked about Tim with the challenge and the business course was it was about actually doing a good business, how to make a good business and serving customers with a good product and good service. Instead of all those, there was also a lot of drop shipping courses going around back then. And I didn't really like the idea of just hauling shit tons of plastic garbage from China. Like, you would have to sell a lot of trash, basically, trash products to actually make enough money to travel around and have a good time. So I really liked Tim's way of doing it. Start a service business and just serve your customers the best product, service, whatever it might be that you possibly can. So that really resonated with me during that 30-day challenge, and that's why I wanted to sign up.
And so what did you pick for that 30-day challenge? Because you already had, did you continue the app stuff or the translation stuff? Or
what did I do? I started a web design business. That was my first one. I've been through 90 businesses at least. I'm still paying for like 25 domains of business ideas that just never really came to anything.
But you had any design experience before that?
No, not at all. Not at all. I just liked looking at a beautiful website compared to one of those like that looks like they were made in 1998, where you had that little flash animated logo and anyway. No, I just knew like that looked pretty cool. Like, that was a cool thing to do. It was a sexy business, especially back in 2016 or whatever it was. So yeah, I established a web design business, and I was doing that while working in the music store. And something just clashed during that. Trying to build a business here and remembering everything, following up with customers in my day job. so it was, at one point it just got too much doing both at the same time. And I was driving on my way to work at the music store, and suddenly I was in the car driving about 80 on the freeway, and then suddenly my eyes just started blackening. I couldn't see anything. My heart was racing. I was sweating, and I had to pull over. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. So just pulled over and just sat breathing for a couple of minutes, and I was like, this is wrong. This is very, very wrong. Called in to my job as, hey, I'm not going to make it. Something's wrong. I need to go to the hospital. Called my dad and told him, like, hey, can you pick me up, because I don't know if I can drive anymore. And that experience was like really awful, having to work the day job, starting a business, and then getting sick with which we then found out was stress and anxiety. And before, I always thought, like, stress and anxiety, take a week's vacation and then get back on it, Don't be a pussy. Just, but once you experience actual stress and anxiety, it's completely different to what you think it is. It's the panic attacks. It's like your heart is racing. It's skipping beats all the time. You are hyper aware of your heart and how your body is all the time. I thought I was going to die like 10 times a day, because my heart just kept doing these skips. Called 911 a couple of times, went to a private hospital to get the whole fucking thing checked, and they were like, everything looks fine. And I was like, and that kept on going for like 9 months or so. So I quit my job. I was like, yeah, I'm sick. I cannot do this. Still working on the web design business while figuring out how the fuck do I get my heart back? Like the anxiety was so bad. For example, going to the grocery store, I would sit in the car for like 30 minutes and not being able to go into the grocery store to buy a bottle of milk. Like it's really, really bad, because it's just your mind just playing tricks on you, just saying, nope, you can't do it. What if you go in and you're gonna faint? That's embarrassing, and blah 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 blah. It just keeps going. So it was very. I couldn't really go out of the house for a good 9 months, which was good and bad. It was good because then I was able to focus on the business, building the business. But as a side note, I would never advise just going all in on a business, because I had to borrow a lot of money from different places for those 9 months, because I didn't get any sales for 9 months, didn't have any revenue, any profit in that business for the first 9 months. So that means I was building up a lot of debt. So it's much, much better to keep your day job until you have enough income to pay for your general expenses, and then you can slowly transition full-time over to your business. But you need some sort of stability in terms of income.
So how did you overcome the health complications? Did you eventually find out what that was?
I didn't find out. Well, it was stress and anxiety. I saw a psychiatrist who said that you're restructuring your brain right now. Your brain is used to default mode, the bullet list of doom. That's default mode. That's easy to do. And now you're trying to train your brain, or you're telling your brain you're doing something completely different. You're basically changing your identity. As well, you're becoming a business owner. You're building all these things. You don't know what you're doing. You're just cracking through and trying to make it work. So it's sort of an identity shift, and the mind wasn't used to that. It was too overwhelming, basically. So I was in the car, probably driving on my way to work, and thinking about the music store customers, what I need to do there, while thinking about the new business, the web design business, how I'm going to get customers when I get home and stuff like that. And that was just completely smashed me.
Yeah, I guess so. Part of it was like, if you're juggling a full-time job, you had the music store and that new side business that you had as well, you would have put in like tons of hours, and that's probably like accumulated. And
exactly, it's always like 16, 18 hours days when you're starting a new business, no matter if you're going all in or you have a job at the same time. But you have to be prepared for the only thing you can do is work and sleep. There's no Netflix time. There's no gaming time. If you want to make it work, you have to do those 16, 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
But I was doing that for a long time, yeah.
Yeah. And so the sort of the next step was, are you still doing a design thing, or what was the next step after that? Did you eventually, you said you no sales for like 9 months.
Yeah.
Right. You could persevere for quite a bit. And, why'd you stop it? Because it sounds like you'll just soldier on,
Yeah. So after 9 months, I finally got a sale for an interior designer over in New York. It was pretty cool. I just like the app, I wrote her an email. It's like, hey, your website is absolute shite. Do you want a beautiful one? Like, I see you value design. How about making your website look good? She was like, yeah, absolutely. How much is that? And I was like, I don't really know. $2,000. Just Googling again. How much does web designers charge? I was like, $2,000. She was like, yeah, sure thing. Send the PayPal. She sent the money, and I was like, all right, now I need to figure out how to make her a website. So I outsourced that to a guy in Eastern Europe. Forgot his name. But he was with me for a couple of months. He wasn't great, but he charged $500. So I figured, all right, if he charges $500 to do that, then I can keep $1,500. So I figured, okay, that's a good deal. So that was my first real freedom sale. And then once we had that website done, then we could use that as a case study for the next one. So then I just started contacting interior designers. And now we could show them, oh, we got this website done. Do you like the style of it? Then we'll do something similar for you. We'll take you from your shitty website to a beautiful website. And that worked. And we were just closing with just a cold email. And then we figured out a way. Back then there was a software called Mailshake. So instead of opening a new email inside your on your computer or your desktop and then manually typing out every single email you're going to send, I figured out a system where you could go into a website where all the interior designers were hanging out, called house.com with 2 C's or something like that, and where you could get their email address from. So then we could just write out a template email and saying, hey, first name, notice that your website is absolute shite. Do you want a beautiful one? Cheers. And just automatically send that with a couple of follow-ups to hundreds of people automatically. And that was a new shift in the belief, like, oh, I actually don't have to sit and do all this stuff. I can get people interested just by, putting in a couple of hours into this automation thing, and then it'll come. And that was pretty new. Again, we're back in 2016 or 17 now. 17, yeah. And we didn't have a lot of options back then, as we do now. Now we have a lot of options for all these automations and software. So that was really, really cool to be able to just reach out to complete strangers on the other side of the world. So I was in Denmark, they were in the US. Very weird concept to me back then, to work for someone so far away. So to be able to just reach out to strangers, get them to pay you money, and then get someone else to deliver the work. So all I had to do was just get the money from the customers, and that was it. Then I would have someone else to deliver the actual products, who are better and smarter than me. That's the biggest trap we often fall into, is to think that we are the best at what we do. We usually never are, never. And that's just something you have to get used to. And the sooner you realize that, the better you're gonna be off. I always say I'm the stupidest guy in the company. I need people that are way smarter than me, and they usually are.
Yeah, because you don't know how to design. Yeah,
I didn't know how to make a website. I can't code for shit. Well, I couldn't back then.
What was this?
This was in 17, so it's about 8, 9, 6. I don't know. My math's off.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, 2017.
Yeah, it's about 7, 8 years now, isn't it? Yeah. So that was the first time that I had that. It's not just a $50 a month thing or $200 sale for a quick job. It's not like a freelancer thing. Like, now it's turning into a proper business. So then I just had to figure out, how do I do more of this? So I was doing that. I got the sale, got the $1,500 or $2,000 into my account, paid the guy $500. Now I had $1,500 left. Still, I was in Denmark with the stress and anxiety going on, but I was like, I need to get out again. I need to get out of my comfort zone. So I bought a ticket to Kuala Lumpur. I went to Airbnb, and I was like, where can I get a pool I just knew I wanted a pool. Like I wanted that deep inside, you know. So I went on Airbnb and figured out where can I live with a pool for less than $1,000 a month.
You love your Google searches, though.
Yeah, you can imagine the remarketing ads that I got. It's just pools and Lambos and all that shit.
So you're in Kuala Lumpur now.
So then I just booked a ticket when the money hit the account. Booked a ticket to Kuala Lumpur. I knew nothing about Malaysia or East Asia. Obviously, I've been to China, but Malaysia was a weird place for me. I never heard of the country before in school or anything. I never knew about it. But I found on Airbnb that there was a spot where I could live. I could rent a room for, I think it was $300-400 a month, and there was a sky pool on the top. So I was like, that's what I want. So I booked the ticket, got out there, and then I kept going with this web design business. But then I grew tired of it. I didn't entirely like the product that we were doing, and I didn't really like the clients either. They didn't really resonate with me. So I stopped doing that, and then I just started doing a little bit of freelance work here and there just to pay the bills.
Freelancers in just like the design stuff, or was something else?
Yeah, just different kind of marketing. And then I had a cold email agency a little bit, or I was doing cold email for friends, just helping them out, $500 a month, which turned into an agency later. But in the beginning, they were just like, hey, Lau, I heard about your system that you did to get the web design clients. Can you do that for my business? I'm doing Facebook ads, or I'm doing Google ads, or whatever. I was like, yeah, sure. I'll do it for you, $500 a month, and then I'll get leads in for you. So that kept me going for a little while. Like I spent 18 months in Kuala Lumpur. Really cool time, beautiful city, good food. But then I also knew, okay, now it's time for the next step.
Yeah, and well, what was that next step? Because you had accumulated all these different skills.
Yeah.
And how did you choose that next thing that you did?
I didn't choose it. It just it dropped into my lap. So I need to figure out, because I've been all over the place, like many different countries. But I think I was back in Denmark. Yes, it was before COVID started, actually. So around November, one of the guys from our business community reached out to me. I was doing a little bit of Facebook ads on the side, and he heard that I was doing that, and he was like, "Hey, Lau, can you do this for like a T-shirt brand? Can you do the Facebook ads? He needs help, and I don't know how to do it. I'm an SEO guy." I was like, "Yeah, sure, okay." Like I didn't really know anything about Facebook ads. I knew how to launch a simple campaign, but I didn't really know much about it. I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And then he referred me his friend with a T-shirt brand, and get on the phone with him. And he's like, "Yeah, so what do you usually charge for this?" And again, I was like, how much does a Facebook ad guy charge? And I saw $2,500 a month, and then I said, "Yeah, $2,500 a month." He said, "No, that's too much." And I was like, "All right, I'll do it for like 1,000 then, for the first 3 months, special price for you." And after 2 months, so he was doing around $16,000 on average per month in the business. And after 2 months with the Facebook ads, we jumped to $50,000 a month. So that was a very quick jump. I was like, holy shit, this stuff,
What?
50. So from 16 to 50 grand in about 2 or 3 months. I was like, holy shit, I'm making some serious money now for
them.
For them. And then I told him, like, yeah, so you can clearly see we more than double the revenue. Do you want to continue with me? Then it's $2,500 a month. He was like, fuck yeah, everything's going great. And within that year, we went from, so we were doing 16. Oh yeah, and COVID started around this time as well. So we were doing really well the first 2 months. Then COVID starts March. Then we just quantum jump.
Yep.
Because everyone starts shopping online. There's no more stores and stuff. So it was a very easy time to be a marketer, online marketer during COVID. It was way too easy, which gave me a false belief in myself, but we can talk about that another time. But we basically took the store from like less than $200,000 a year to $1.3 million a year and then $2.4 million. So we 10x the business very, very quickly, which was because of COVID. I thought it was because I was a fucking genius.
Nah, definitely COVID. Maybe at the time, yeah.
At the time, yeah.
How did that change you as like a person? Like, because even if you're getting those results, right? Like it's another identity shift, right? Once you hit those numbers, right?
It is very much, because now I was not the guy who was doing $500 a month or $2,000 a month kind of stuff. It gave me that belief, even if it was false, but it gave me a belief that I can make millions of dollars. Like now we're talking 7 figures instead of 5-figure stuff that I was used to. So that was also a quantum leap in my belief in self and what I can do, what I can achieve, which helped me sell a lot more, because suddenly I had all this confidence. I was getting these great results. Also, like we had other clients as well. This whole thing, just the referral, turned into a whole agency. So now I still have that agency, AdsWise, where we are doing meta ads and emails for sustainable e-commerce brands.
And so this was during COVID. Where were you at the time during COVID?
During COVID, I was, so March 2022 it started. So I was in Denmark. And as soon as Portugal opened in May, I just jumped on a flight. So I went down to Portugal, had a couple of places in Lisbon. Obviously, it was COVID, and it was still early COVID. Everyone was unsure, a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace, not a lot of tourism. People were not really like courageous or brave enough to go out. They didn't really know how COVID would do to them. But I was like, I just need to get out of Denmark, man. So I went down to Portugal, Lisbon. It was beautiful, beautiful time, because the whole city was empty. I went to this cute little cafe to get my dinners that would usually take 4 hours to get into. Like the owner told me, usually people, they stand out for 4 hours just having cheese and wine until they can actually get a table. And I was just in there every night, having a good time. But I was there from May 2020 until then we had a couple of other friends in the freedom business community came down to visit me, because they saw I was posting on Instagram, yeah, we're having a good time in Lisbon. And they're like, okay, we're going to come down and visit you. So they came down, and then we went up to Esteda, up in probably an hour, I think, from Lisbon. And we went to a surf camp. So it was my friend Aladdin. He said, Lau, do you want to try and go surfing? I was like, fuck that. I don't know. It sounds kind of boring. Okay, I'll go for the beers then. So we'll go to the surf camp. Maybe we'll see a couple of cool people. But the first time we went down to the beach and I stood up on that surfboard, I was like, this is for me. This is what I need. Back to the Google search. Where's the best surf in the world?
And what did it reveal? What was the best surf?
Bali.
Bali?
Bali.
Yeah. Okay.
So again, now we're fast forwarding to November, end of October 2020. Bali had just opened for a short window. So I booked the ticket, get on the flight, get into Bali. I text my now very good friend, but my surf instructor, like, I just landed in Bali, I want to surf. When can we go, and where do we go? And it's high peak COVID, so he's very nervous about it, and he didn't make any money because there was no tourism either in Bali. Bali was completely empty, true paradise island at the time. No traffic and stuff like there is now. But I went down, got on the board, and he just he helped me go so fast from absolute fucking idiot on the board to ripping on with the waves. And it's just the most, I think that's the biggest like change in life I had, like the most positive impact I've had on my life was just starting surfing, because that also removes all the stress and anxiety thoughts that were left over from back then. Getting out in the water first thing in the morning and get some waves has just been the most life-changing thing I've done.
Is that when you grew your hair?
That's when I grew my hair.
So it sounds like you're quite like now it's just
rebrand.
A habit, right? It's just like something that is implemented in your lifestyle, right?
Now it's just part of every day. but it's a very important part of every day. The most important. If I didn't have anything else, like you can take away all my money and all the business and everything else, all the parties. If I could just have surf, at least every day, I would live a happy life for the rest of my life.
So that'd be your freedom, yeah, essential.
Yeah, that's my
Part of
freedom,
it.
like activity.
So from music to surfing, yeah.
Yeah.
I could play guitar on the surfboard, yeah.
Yeah, that's next level. That's my next quantum leap.
So
Put a drum kit on the surfboards.
So how was your? So now you're in Bali. The like the business side as well. So you still doing? I guess you're still doing that Facebook ads or whatnot as well.
Yeah.
How do you balance?
Yeah. So the Facebook ads agency is. I have this absolute rock star who's been working with me for 7 or 8 years now, and she's been with me so long. So with that T-shirt brand, we were growing. Yeah. I had my. It's funny how a lot of the quantum changes in my life happens by accident, because we were growing. We just hit the $1 million mark. And I told the guy, hey, we need to double our fee. So now I was making $5,000 there instead of the 2,500. And then 2 months later, my personal Facebook account got banned by Facebook for no apparent reason. And I was just panicking. Like, I cannot log into the advertising platform. How do I deliver my service now when I don't have like they pay me $5,000 a month? They want something in return, right? So then I asked my assistant, who was she was just doing the cold email stuff on the back end, just contacting new clients, trying to get new business in. And I just texted her like, hey, do you think you can do ads? We already have most of it in there. You just need to log in and do what I tell you to. And she was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it, no problem. I was like, great. We get her into the account, and she starts doing all these ads. I'm like, hey, those are really good ads. You're pretty much doing better ads than me. I was like, all right, you're just taking care of this account now. I'll keep finding new clients, but you'll just take care of this one, because she was doing fantastic work and they were getting results. And then I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not working now. We're getting the money in just like the other one. We're getting the money in, but now I don't have to do the work again. And in Bali, just surfing. So I was trying to slowly like back out and just let her do the thing with the client. And then we got a couple of other, like a fashion brand and a jewelry brand. And I just told her, just keep doing what you're doing, and do that for the other clients as well. And suddenly I was making like pretty decent money, more than I thought I would. Probably pulling in like 6 figures. But I was working, the magic thing was I was working like 2-4 hours a week, no more. And that was when I had that aha moment, like, oh, I'm doing the 4-hour work week now. Brilliant. So I did that for probably like a year and a half during COVID, just enjoying traveling around, not doing anything and just letting my rock star do her thing with the clients. And she loved doing it. And she was good at it. Still is. So I was just traveling around doing absolutely fuck all. And it was beautiful. But then reality hit. COVID stopped. And then it became very difficult to advertise again because now people went into the stores, the physical stores. We lost 2 of our clients. We had 3 clients at the time. We lost 2 of them within 30 days. For different reasons. One of them weren't getting results anymore, but the other one was changing what they were doing. But we lost 90% of our revenue in 30 days. So that was a huge hit, a huge lesson. I found out I had taken my foot off the gas for too long. So while I was enjoying the freedom lifestyle, my business was suffering from my absence because I wasn't growing it. So it was a huge lesson. It set me back for a whole year. Not getting any new business in, not getting any clients. My self-confidence took a big hit. Started reducing our fees again from $5,000 a month all the way down to $500 a month, and it was just a terrible time of it. But it was a great lesson to not rely on just a couple of people. It's one of the best advice I can give, I think, is have aim for having at least 20 clients, 20 customers. There shouldn't be, I also think Alex Hermosi gave this advice that you should not let one client be responsible for more than 5% of your revenue. Because if you, one day, as it happened to me, within a month, if you lose 3 clients, if you lose 2 clients when you have 3, that's a very big drop in revenue and profits. So you're gonna have to change your life around for that. But if you have 20 clients and you lose 3, that's okay. That's a 15% drop, maybe. You can survive that. It's okay. You still have time to recoup that and get new customers in. So I think it's very, very important to have at the very least 10, and 10 is not even a safe client number. If you can get to 20, then you finally have the security and stability. But if you only have one client, is kind of like having a job. So much insecurity in there. You can lose, if you lose that one client, you lose your job. Basically, you lose everything. So get the stability by having those at least 10, preferably 20 clients. Even if it means maybe reducing your fees or whatever it might mean. But it's better to have $10,000 like stable, spread out on 20 accounts. So if each pays you $500 a month, rather than having one client who's paying you 10 grand a month.
And so now, you dropped 90% like of your revenue. How did your life change after that? Because I would have anxiety as well. And did you fall back into that? And no. What steps did you take?
No, because I already knew how to get through stuff, and I had the confidence still that I could just turn around, send a couple of cold emails, and then I'll be fine again. But I did have to downgrade my life a lot. So when we were doing well during COVID and I wasn't really working, we were living in all these amazing villas, absolutely incredible. So, but I had to change from incredible villas and then downgrade to a guest house, which was like $200-300 a month, which is fine. I don't mind, living on a rock or in a cave. It's fine as long as I had surf. I could always go back to the surf, So that was sort of my rock during that time. So as long as I could get out on the waves, I would still come home and work with a smile on. So that was really, really important, actually. If I didn't have the surf, I would have probably just, gone into the cave and cry every day. But no, I was doing okay. I was obviously very stressed to get back again and put in a lot of hours. So back to 16 hours a day, business as usual, kind of.
So in that situation, when you were working those 16 hours, like what did you implement? Like, you learned from the failures. What did you implement to, avoid being in that same situation?
Yeah. So basically say, okay, I cannot let more than 5% of the revenue rely on one client. So I started doing much cheaper work. So from 5 grand down to 500 a month, and just spread it out really. But then we've also changed our fee structure now to performance based. So we get paid per profit that we make for the business. So they don't pay us $5,000 a month or $500 a month even. They just pay us every time we make a sale with our efforts. So they just pay us a percentage of the sale. Which works a lot differently because there's no security really, other than we know that we're good at what we're doing. So we know we're going to make money from the sales, but we don't know how much. So it's a little bit different each month. But
yeah, because it's performance based and it's a win-win relationship for the client. It's great, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because they don't have to have like this. Maybe there is a fixed fee, but they they can calculate the percentage of it, on each product, let's say.
And they don't pay us anything up front. That means we take away the risk from them. All they have to worry about is the ad budget. And if we make a lot of sales, they pay us a lot of money. If we don't make a lot of sales, they don't pay us a lot of money. So if we don't sell anything, they don't pay us. So that's a really good way to do it. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. It's also taken me a long time, like 2 years, just to figure out how to make that work for both parts. and we're still kind of adjusting it from client to client because it depends on their profit margins and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's a journey in itself as
It
well.
is. I wouldn't recommend it to just everyone. Obviously, you need to actually have stuff that works. Not everyone does, and that's when they go on a retainer, because even if it doesn't work, they still get paid. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you are so certain in your product and service that you know it's going to make money.
Yeah, I think it's a step here. You have to start at least on a retainer so you can, you see the results, get the results, and then replicate the results where it's like risk-free or performance-based.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need that confidence that you can actually deliver.
Yeah, confidence is probably the biggest
Confidence
thing.
is key.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people don't sell more. They're afraid to sell because they didn't get the results. People who got results before have a very easy time of it selling because they're so confident. They see their client results and the clients are happy, and then that gives you the confidence to get more insight. But because after COVID, we got a couple of clients in that didn't get results, and then my confidence takes a hit when we don't get them results, and then it gets more difficult for me to sell to the next one. And that's when you start lowering your fee, when your confidence drops. Because back then, when clients were paying us upwards of $5,000 a month, my confidence was sky high. I was turning away clients all the time. I was like, no, if you cannot pay $5,000, I don't want you, you know? So I think your revenue really depends on, or it correlates to your confidence level.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So tell us, like, your day-to-day now, your day-to-day, what's that look like, You
Yes.
wake up and...
Yeah. I usually wake up in the morning.
It's a good start. Yeah,
It's a good start to wake up. Well, honestly, like that's actually sort of a bonus of the stress and anxiety and thinking you're gonna die a couple of times a day, is that every day you get after is just beautiful. It's
Grateful that you got to wake up there.
it's just a bonus day, Every day is a bonus. So every day is beautiful. I wake up around 5:30 in order to get down to the surf. Not every day, it depends on the surf and my mood, but usually 5:30. Try to catch that sunrise surf. Start the day, with a smile. A day started in the water is always a good day. Then I come back home, do some yoga meditation, some stretches. I have this little freedom dashboard, I call it, where I've accumulated a lot of good tips from around the internet, all these different personalities, where I have all my finances in the dashboard. So everywhere I have bank accounts, my PayPal, Wise, personal, business, everything monetary is in one sheet, or what do you call it? Yeah, one tab in the sheet. And then I have my morning habits. So check into the Freedom Dashboard every single day, update the bank account numbers and everything. It's very important, I think, to just always be aware of how much money you have coming in, coming out, and everything. Always know your numbers. And then in the dashboard, I have these little check boxes for, did I go for a surf? Check. Did I review the Freedom Dashboard daily? Yeah, check. Did I do the meditation, yoga? Check. And it's really satisfying to do those little checks every time. So it kind of makes you, get into the habit of actually doing it rather than just having to kind of remember it. Yeah. But when you open the dashboard, you already start with a check, just,
So little wins.
Little wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of get these little hits of dopamine, which will keep you going on to the next one. Like, even if I think, oh yeah, I did the meditation, check, but I don't really want to do the yoga. No. You just check. Yeah, I want to get another check mark. So that's really helped me build the habits that I want. You can put anything you want in there. It's just because, I'm getting fucking old, so I need some stretches, I need that yoga stuff.
Basically, it's just gamifying your life, essentially.
Kinda, yeah.
You get the golden star every time you
exactly.
be
You get
good.
a little gold star. Well done, Timmy.
By the end of the day, you look like a military general.
So it's a really good way to just make sure that you're working every day on the things that build up to what you want to achieve. So, for example, you can put in there in the dashboard, you can put in maybe if you want to write a lot of cold emails to apps or interior designers or whatever it might be. Spend 1 hour writing emails. Like, what's the one thing I can do today to get to, get more clients or whatever it is you want. So then once you spend an hour sending out emails, you give it a little check. And then you go on to the next one. So you just put in whatever it is you want, the little task that you can do today that works towards your bigger goal, the end goal, which is from a really good book called The One Thing.
The One Thing.
The One Thing, yeah.
I know I read all the other books you've spoken about.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one.
The One Thing probably makes it to my top 5.
What?
Because it's so easy, especially when you start a new business, to just get lost in all the stuff you have to do. Or you have to get the domain, you have to set up the Instagram account, or you have to post today. What about the taxes? I forgot about that. You have all these things that are just always coming in at once, and there's so many fires to put out. But if you can remove pretty much everything, I think the sentence the whole book works around is, what's the one thing that makes everything else unnecessary or easier, or something like that? What's the one thing you can do today that will make everything else easier or unnecessary?
Yeah.
I think that's the one.
Yeah, and a part of that I think would be sort of having sort of like a goal, or that North Star, that we call, because you can't be just checking off boxes. You always have to, you kind of have to have.
It has to work towards something.
Yeah, right, and you kind of always have to work backwards for that as well. So what does that goal or North Star look like to you?
For me?
Yeah.
So can we just take this back? North Star, I don't know North Star. What's North Star?
North Star is just your goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's just a goal. Like,
Is it like the end goal?
the
When you're 80 and you're about to die?
Okay.
Yeah, because if that's the North Star, I need to figure out how to get a mountain of drugs and prostitutes that I can die on.
Well, you
What's
have
the one thing I could do today? I don't know, give Flames a call or something like that. All right. Cut.
I'm going to get to that. So you do your morning ritual. After this, is that your evening ritual?
Get a chemistry set. Right now, it looks like, so you go through phases. Like, I never really wanted kids and the whole family life. I just wanted, the freedom lifestyle. But I've been talking to my mom. She's an absolute sweetheart, bless her heart. She divorced my dad, found a new husband, and now she has a really good husband. Good for her. So she gives me relationship advice. And I was, for the past 10 years, I've been like, no kids, no wife. I don't want all that stuff. Still don't want a wife, but probably want some kids. Yeah. So I asked her, what?
No, we're both thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Well, no wife, yes kids.
You can't have kids with
wife and then kids. You're like, no wife but kids. That's that. No dinner and dessert.
What do you mean? You can basically pick them up down the street. Fucking hell,
I knew this was gonna be funny, but
I was just waiting for you. Yeah. We're going.
No,
how's that?
no, you just go on comeinacup.com and then you send it in. And then 9 months later, you get a couple of babies out. It's a good business. Get the domain.
Yeah. I'm gonna go.
Comeinacup.com. Get the kids without the wife.
That is actually
A good
really
idea.
good.
We're gonna be doing that one straight afterwards.
Fucking hell.
Your mum's watching too, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Mom, don't comeinacup.com. That's where babies come from. Fucking hell. That's a good idea. No, where was I going? Oh yeah, so I actually want to buy a house and settle down a bit. I've traveled most of the world already and lived in a lot of places since I was 19, So now I just want that more stability and just settle down a bit. I like peace. I really, really like peace. Just the quiet. I like quiet and sex, yeah. Not at the same time, but
Sometimes.
Sometimes it's nice, yeah. Probably ties into the whole comeinacup concept of not getting a wife. I just like peace and quiet too much. But yeah, great idea to get kids then. No, but get a villa where I can just have like a music room, have a studio with all the instruments, because I want to go back again to the roots. Music has always been a big part of my life, playing the instruments, and it's also kind of like surfing. What it is for me, it's a place where you can be creative, and you can find peace in creating with music. Like I used to smoke quite a lot, and whenever I would go into the studio and play, I would forget about smoking because it just relaxed my mind so much. So it was a great way.
Meditation kind of.
It's almost like a meditation. Yeah, very spiritual. So it's just a great way to calm the mind but also engage it. Kind of like a Sudoku, figuring out how does all the chords and the instruments play together. I did a cover of Mac Miller, yeah. What's the one? Oh, Missed Calls. Do you know that one?
Sing it for us.
Well, you got this. Ah, fuck! I don't
Sounds like me. Mumble.
I don't remember. I actually don't remember the lyrics. But it's a beautiful song. I did a cover, and it took 65 instruments to do the cover, like software instruments, a mix of software instruments and real instruments. But it took 65 tracks to do the cover. I had like a fucking Chinese mandolin in there doing like little sounds, and it's just building this whole thing up from zero to this,
The symphony almost.
Yeah, symphony, basically, yeah. It's a great thing. So I want to do that, and I know I wanted to do that for a long time. So I want to get a villa with a music room. That's like my number one
and where
North Star at the moment.
Yeah, and where like that North Star, that villa is, where would that be? Would it be back at home in Denmark or?
Yeah, I was going to ask that same question.
Yeah, it would probably be Bali.
Yeah, Bali's home.
So I used to travel a lot before, yeah. But then once I discovered surf, that again cut my sort of places I can go by 90%. Because I loved Lisbon and I loved Portugal. If I was gonna live anywhere else, I would probably live in Portugal, except that it's cold water surf. So you go on the beach, it's burning hot, 40 degrees. You're going with the surfboard on the burning sand, and then you finally get into the water, and it's just fucking freezing.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, absolutely awful. Like the waves are good, and the culture and the people in Portugal are absolutely amazing. Love it. It's just the cold water. I don't like,
I always would have thought that Portugal hot water, that warm water.
No, it's fucking ice cold. And you would think like an old Danish Viking like me could take it, but no. I'm a little puppy when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, come to Australia, and it's ice cold.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah. I'm going there next month. Going down to Perth and Melbourne.
Perth is not too bad, but Melbourne is,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Melbourne is cold as.
I need to do my research on that. I want to do the Google.
You're going to have to get a
Google
wetsuit.
search.
Oh, maybe not this time year around, but yeah.
Yeah, it's summer now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still cold.
Yeah, okay. All
You've
right.
been living
I
here for a
follow
while.
you, service. You learn something new today, yeah.
Always be learning. Always be learning.
Now, I guess one of the, for people that are watching or listening, we've learned so much about you. And if someone's wanted to take that sort of same path, right, what would be the first step, right, that you could advise them on, like maybe to your older self or not?
The first step would definitely be sell first, build after. Because I have wasted so much time and energy building a cool thing, which when it then came to selling it, I found out, people don't want it. So you can waste a lot of time designing your logo and stuff like that. It's excuses. It's excuses because you're too afraid to, for example, sell. Selling is a very, very scary thing to do because you have to convince someone of your worth, basically. And if you get turned down, again, that takes a hit on your confidence and your belief in yourself. So it's a very scary thing to do. But sell the thing first, figure out do people actually want it first. And you can do this by sending the mass cold emails and just take the temperature, say, hey, we're going to do this, this and that. And I think it would really help you or your business or whatever, depending on what it is you want to do. And just get the temperature and see if people reply positively to what you want to do. and then you can entice them with like, and you can get this pre-special offer we have where you get 50% off or whatever it might be. But you need to sell it to complete strangers, not your friends, not your family, because they will buy from you out of maybe pity or at least just to help you, to support you, to show you that they love you. And that's cheating in business. That doesn't work in the real world. Don't sell to family and friends. You have to sell to strangers. Then you can sell to family and friends later.
Yeah. With somebody that doesn't have that confidence in terms of, you spoke about having no design experience, right? You're thrown into the ads, right? I think it is a big step to sell something when you have no idea how to essentially deliver, right?
Well, either you have to be stupid and just sell it anyway, or or you will just have to do it. Like it's kind of like if you sign up for football, like you never, the first time you play football, you never kick the ball before. You're not gonna score a super goal like Messi or whoever. You'll just have to do it. Take the first step and just try, and be ready to fail. So basically, fail fast forward. Every day, just be prepared to fail, and say if I can fail today, that's better than not succeeding out of inaction. So it's better to get someone to reply no, because that means you did something, you took an action, rather than not getting any replies.
Yeah,
because you didn't take any action.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a process. It's like process driven, especially having your dashboard, right? You're ticking these boxes and just going through the motions of it. Yeah.
Just taking the action. So, for example, if you want to test out a new offer, maybe you want to sell your psychology services online, or your OnlyFans or whatever it might be. I've tested that, didn't work. Had to go back to ads again. The terrible time of it, but just get it out there. So take an hour. Everyone can take an hour. Look at how you're spending your time every day. You're probably spending an hour on Netflix alone every day, or scrolling on Instagram. Replace that hour with sending 3 cold emails every day. Send an email to 3 different people with this little offer, for example. If you're starting out from scratch, say, hey, I would really love to help you. I think you would find it valuable to do the psychology lessons or sessions with me. And I'll do it at 50% off, because I want to build case studies around. I want to give results. Whatever, and it doesn't matter what you want to do, whether you want to do web design, translation services, psychology sessions, whatever it is. Whatever you want to do, if you don't have anything, do it for free first. Like the music store. I told him, he told me, I don't want you, until I told him I was gonna do it for free. Then it was okay. Then he wanted me. And after I did a hell of a job working for free, then I got a paid job full-time later. Well, actually, from free to part-time to full-time. So it's steps. If you cannot sell it for money, then sell it for free. And get the case studies inside the door. Deliver your absolute best. Always. Because then you can start selling it for more and more money.
Yeah, that's really good advice that you put there. That dashboard that you're talking about, is that available, or can anybody that is thinking of it can grab it? Like I'll check it out myself for sure. Right?
No.
To have like this.
No.
Okay.
If anybody else wants it, then you can just DM me. But Dave's not getting it.
I guess I could make a template out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Google Sheet, so I could probably duplicate it and remove my own stuff and just templatize it. Yeah, I can do that for you.
Yeah, cool, done. So so if you do, it'll be in maybe your Instagram or
whatever.
whatever.
Link below the video.
Yeah.
Smash that.
If you want to contact them.
Yeah. So if anybody wanted to maybe contact you or whatnot, do you have somewhere that they could go to? Or?
Preferably not.
Preferably not. Okay,
Yeah.
So we won't link down there.
Yeah, probably Maria. So maybe we can leave a link for Maria's email or something.
Easy.
Yeah.
Done. No worries, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Is there anything else that you want to say?
No, just sell it. sell it first, build it first, fail fast forward, and have a good time of it.
Done. Fantastic, guys.
Coming on our show, Adam.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Guys, just watch. Subscribe on YouTube. Otherwise, you can hear it on Spotify or Apple. All right. Until next week, chat to you boys and girls.